That's a topic we haven't really discussed in a few years. Being called a blind squirrel is cool and everything. If Canva thinks that, I had no business winning that, or that's my one-hit wonder, whatever, I've proved my consistency. I'm fine with the nickname. I didn't really take it personal. It just motivated me to prove a point to you guys, and I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna keep it. I honestly like it. My throwing technique is kind of like frisbee golf. The main thing is just keeping the frisbee flat. So that's what translated to my bags game. I just do what's natural, whatever feels right. It's more of an instinct thing, just trust your gut. The flatter the bag, the better. The more spin I put on the bag, the straighter it goes when it hits the board. That's why I do so much body motion and do that, because I'm trying to put as much spin on it as possible and really get that follow through. Whenever I'm missing my shots, it's because I get a little bit lazy and don't fully follow through with my shots. So that's the key to my technique, is just really give it everything you have to put as much spin on the bag as possible. I used to step when I first started playing, but it's like too much room for air. I know you said I could probably bench press 130, but I calf raise about 450. And it just feels right. It feels comfortable. I'm trying to throw more like Cedro. He don't really move his body that much. If I can just sponge off each player and learn, that's how I learned the game. I was watching YouTube videos. I learned like one or two things from each player, and then kind of combine that into my own game. And who I learned the most from was definitely Cedro. So I think we've been partners for 4 or 5 years now, and hopefully we continue to keep going strong. I've always looked up to him ever since I first started playing the game. In my eyes, he was the best in the world. He was my favorite player. He just happened to live 2 hours from me. So I drove to all the tournaments he was playing at. I figured out where he would be at, and I'd get my butt whoopings. But I'd get closer and closer every time, and that's how you get better, is playing better competition. He asked me to partner up because he's seen me so many times. The first tournament we played in, we won, and then basically ever since we were partners. We do have like the same demeanor on the boards. He does his thing, I do my thing. We trust one another. We don't really tell each other what to do, and it's not just his game. Off the courts, he's always been there for me. He was there for my graduation. He was there for a lot of other stuff outside of Cornhole. This is our 2nd year going pro now, and I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully many more years to come. I started playing Cornhole when I was 14 years old. It's been almost 10 years. In high school, I played football, basketball, baseball, and then I went to college after high school, got my 2-year degree. So I didn't really dedicate 100%. I just kind of played it on the side for 7, 8 years. Just this last year was my first year as an ACL Pro. The year before that, I played in the advanced division. The people that got me into it was my dad and my best friend, who unfortunately passed away when I was 18. Rough situation, but those 2 people got me in the game, and that's who I practice with all the time. So that's what really motivated me to be where I'm at today. Just want to make them proud. I've definitely learned a lot. My goal is to be the best player in the world, and I understand that's not going to happen overnight. It's really hard saying who the best in the world is. The fact that I'm in that argument really means a lot to me, and now I'm just trying to take it to the next level in every aspect. I learned a lot from Mark Stanky. He's definitely a student of the game. He's very smart, he knows his stuff. It comes down to just figuring out your weaknesses and putting in the work and turn it into a strength. I used to do about an hour a day. Now I'm boosting that up 2 or 3 hours a day, just to try and get me that extra edge. My goal for this season, same as the last season, same as the year before, be the best player I can possibly be. I remember one of the years, it was every day for a whole year for an hour minimum. I took 3 days off, but the next day I did 3 or 4 hours to make up for that hour. And champions don't take days off, so that goes for any sport. So it really shows who puts in the work and who doesn't. My goals are just to practice more, learn more, keep learning, keep working, and be the best player I can possibly be. It's all part of my mastermind plan. Kind of a legacy thing, like who am I gonna be remembered as a person years down the road? and I want to be remembered as the greatest cornhole player of all time, or at least one of the greatest cornhole players of all time. I have a lot of potential, and I don't want to throw it all down the drain. I want to take this as far as I can possibly take it. There's always something you can do to improve your game, no matter who you are, no matter what sport you're in. Nobody's perfect. We all have weaknesses, so what I do is I figure out what my weakness is, and I practice it for weeks on weeks, hours on hours, and try and turn it into a strength. I think that's what separates a lot of great players from good players, is just putting in the work. No matter what you do in life, it takes 10,000 hours to master something. So I did the numbers, like how much time I put in each year, and I'm probably sitting right about 10,000. There's much more to this game and sport than most people think. I'm just trying to be a student of the game still, even at the top level. You know, there's always more to improve on, there's always more to learn. There's always something you can do to get better, so I'm trying to put in 20,000 hours, get way ahead of the competition, because if you take days off, then that turns into weeks off, months off, and then everyone else is going to get better. You know, you're not going to get better sitting on the couch. I can't slow down. The moment you slow down, you know your competitor is going to be out working you. There's a lot of great players out there. The competition right now is at the highest level it's ever been at. The competition just keeps getting higher and higher as we keep moving forward, and you just got to keep up with it. If you slow down, then those other players are going to rise above you. It just comes down to who's putting in more work. It shows. You know, we all have a flat bag, we all have proper mechanics at that high level, but the ones that really are truly great at what they do is they've mastered their mindset. Another thing is confidence. In order to win, you must first believe that you can win and have the confidence that you can win. So really it's mastering the mind. I feel like my main opponent is myself. I'm not out to get anybody. I really like everyone. You know, they're all great people. On the boards, things can get a little rowdy sometimes, but off the boards, you know, I can sit down and have a conversation with every single player that's in the league. So maybe there's people that's out to get me, but that's fine. We'll just duke it out on the boards. I think it was 3 years ago when I made that Facebook post saying that cornhole will eventually be an Olympic sport. Well, I'm actually a time traveler, and I visited the future, so I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't know exactly when. And a lot of people laughed at me, didn't think it would be, and it's definitely on the right track to do that, and I strongly believe that cornhole will definitely be in the Olympics. Some people will laugh at you, some people will agree with you, some people will like you, some people will hate you. It doesn't matter. I always stand up for what I believe in, and that's just what I was feeling that day. Anything is possible, you just gotta believe.